Hey everyone. So I'm trying a new app, and as you guys know, I'm no ITT tech, but I downloaded a video the other day that I really want everybody to see. So here we go. If I have any issues, I apologize because, you know, this just is not... I'm trying to do this off a phone, so here we go. And this is one of those videos, by the way, that you are definitely going to have to watch until the end. But then the picture will become clear as to why I'm sharing this with you guys. So, here we go. Hey guys. So, I want to put this video together so it kind of all makes sense. I hope I do it justice. And I want to show you the award for Cop of the Year goes to Halifax police officer Pierre-Paul Cadieux. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It's French, so who knows. And this was an article that was released in 2020 he was charged with SA, sexual assault, in 2018. A Halifax police officer has returned to work after a SA charge against him was stayed. Crown prosecution determined a conviction against Constable Pierre-Paul Cadieux was unlikely. At this time, and as the case evolved, it was clear to us that there was no realistic prospect of conviction. Chris Hansen, spokesperson for the Public Prosecution Service, said Wednesday. Now let's talk about why that would be. Why, oh why, would anybody not want to speak up against a cop? Well, let me tell you why. Because your life would become miserable after that. And stay tuned. A stayed charge means the Crowns can reinstate the charges within 1 year. Cadieux was charged with SA in June of 2018. It was alleged that he SA'd another employee of the police department in 2016. Wow, I did not know that. Let's see. Police said Cadieux was not a member of the force at the time of the alleged assault, but was training at the Atlantic Police Academy. Okay, well, that should have been grounds for instant dismissal, because wait till what I show you next. Cadieux was suspended with pay, and was expected to appear in Nova Scotia Supreme Court. At the time of his arrest, police said the alleged incident was not random, and Cadieux and the complainant knew one another. Police would not reveal the gender of the complainant or whether that person was also an officer. Cadieux told CBC News, because they're reliable, he returned to work on Monday to continue training to be an officer. Okay, well, that should have been a red flag to most people. He said he hopes to rejoin the volunteer fire department where he was working before the allegation. Okay, so that was in 2020, okay, for something that happened in 2018. Now I want to show you something else. There's a few things I want to show you, actually. So, on May 5th, 2021, Halifax Regional Police Constable Pierre-Paul Cadieux and Constable Steve Logan were found guilty of racism by the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission. So now we have SA and now racism because he was targeting a black person, and I'll show you that article next. The commission's 51-page doesn't pull any punches about Constable Pierre-Paul Cadieux's, I hope I'm saying his name right. It doesn't really matter because he sounds like he's not a very good guy anyway, so even if I'm saying it wrong, maybe I'm doing him justice. And Constable Steve Logan's behavior. I find that race was a factor in the police officer's decision to target the complainant for surveillance and investigation. Wait till you see what I'm going to show you next. It seems to be a pattern with this police officer, and I'll use the air quotes. This decision resulted in a summary offense ticket. Oh, okay. And constitutes adverse treatment. What? That doesn't make sense to me. This decision resulted in a summary offense ticket and constitutes adverse treatment. The respondent has not justified this adverse treatment. I don't know what that means. I don't understand that. Accordingly, the complainant has established discrimination in violation of the Human Rights Act. Okay. This requires a remedy that is appropriate and responsive in the circumstances. Reasons for decision having been delivered this day, finding that the respondent, Halifax, okay? Sorry, 1 second, I'm just trying to see. Okay, so it is ordered that HRM shall remit to, I don't know how to say this name, Giassi Simmons, a total of amount of $15,233 for you can read that, I can't, compensation and general damages within 30 days from the date of the order. That's a good payout. So he must have did something pretty significant. We're going to look at that article next. HRM shall provide Giassi Simmons a written apology for the discrimination he experienced within 3 months from the date of this order. HRM shall ensure that the HRPD offers in person or virtually its journey to change course at least once within the 12 months following the date of this order. HRPD shall ensure that Constable Steve Logan takes the journey to change course when it's next offered by the HRPD. And Paul Cadieux is to take the next, same course. On the morning of January 24, 2017, Mr. Simmons, or Simons, I'm thinking Simmons, and if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize, left his workplace and crossed, I don't know, the street. This is in Halifax, so I don't know. I've never been. I don't know. To get a coffee at the Nook. Okay, I guess that's a coffee shop. All parties agree that he crossed in the middle of the street and not at the nearby intersection. Okay, so he jaywalked like every single person does. Unless you're old and you need the light, you know what I mean? And some of them still can't even make it with it, so we'll see. Okay. I'm just going to call him G, okay? The complainant acknowledged that jaywalking was an offense, but observed that it is an offense that is regularly committed. Yeah, everybody does it. All day. I see it all the time as driving around. He testified that he crossed the street around 8 a.m. on the day in question to get a coffee at the Nook. He admitted to crossing in the middle of the street, but did not admit to failing to yield to oncoming traffic. He stated that there were 4 white co-workers who crossed in a similar fashion in front of him. Okay, so you guys get the picture here. 4 white guys and 1 black guy. 5 of them do it, and only 1 gets busted. But it's not targeted, y'all. Okay, Mr. S stated that he was confronted by Cadieux and Logan, who blocked his entrance, to the Nook. See, these are the type of cops that just, you know. If you know, you know. From his perspective, he was singled out because he is black and given an unnecessary lecture. I agree. That's exactly what I'm getting from it too. 5 people do the same thing and the only black person gets the ticket? Come on now. He stated that the interaction only ended when he asked if he was being detained. He then entered the Nook to get a coffee. After getting his coffee, he exited the Nook and turned left towards the intersection of whatever. That he could see the backs, Mr. S stated that he could see the backs of the cops, who were walking north on the west side of whatever street, approximately 2 buildings north of the intersection. Mr. Simmons could not remember if the light was green or red when he reached the intersection, but he was unequivocal in his testimony that he crossed with the light at the intersection. Well, obviously, you're going to get, you can't go into this store like there's 2 cops abusing their power because he's the only black guy around. So when you come out of the store, you're guaranteed you're going to the light, right? I can tell that just from hearing the story now. Mr. S testified that he then returned to work and continued with his workday. After about 10 to 15 minutes, he was contacted by his supervisor, Miss Tracy, whatever, who advised him that the police were in the lobby and wanted to speak to him. Okay, you know what? This story just doesn't sound good at all. And it's not sitting right with me. 5 guys do the same thing. The only black guy gets the ticket. They block off his entrance, throw their batons around like they do, and, trying to intimidate the guy. He comes out of the store, gets his coffee, goes to the light this time because he doesn't want to deal with cops who are targeting him because he's black. And he goes into school, and then 10 or 15 minutes later, the cops come back. Okay, something is not right. Mr. S went down to the lobby. He was met by the cops, described as immediately aggressive, which already sounds like they're aggressive by blocking off the door, because honestly, if you do that, you're looking for confrontation, okay? And wanting to give him a ticket for jaywalking. So, okay. He said he was threatened with arrest if he did not comply with providing his identification. Okay, that is insane. Mr. Simmons returned to his office to get his identification before coming back to the lobby. He was then issued a summary offense ticket and returned to work. Mr. Simmons testified that he had his cell phone with him and was trying to record the interaction, but ultimately was not able to do so. Gee, I wonder why. Did they do something to prevent him from being able to do that? Because it sounds like these types of cops would. And wait till you see the end of this video. This is one of those videos that you are literally going to have to watch until the end. Okay, Mr. S describes the events as one of the worst days he's ever had at work. He said that he felt humiliated, ashamed, and degraded by the interactions. He felt targeted by the police. I feel all of those things for him as well. And it absolutely is being targeted. So don't feel bad, Mr. Simmons or Simons. I'm not sure how your name is pronounced. But if this video ever happens to get to you, you did the right thing. And don't let them make you feel bad because they're racist pricks, okay? In my opinion, that's only just from what I'm seeing here. And the facts speak for themselves. And the fact that he was also found guilty agrees. The court found him guilty. How often does that happen when you're a policeman? So obviously that statement is true, but I'll say in my opinion, okay? Mr. Simmons stated that the events have had a lasting impact on him personally and professionally. And it would. Being a black man, being targeted, now the cops come, I don't know, it sounds like he works there, but I don't know for sure. But at the very least, he's a student, if not an employee. I would absolutely be embarrassed if the cops came to my work as well. 100%. He testified that he no longer goes for coffee while at work. Oh, so he does work there. And now he's afraid to go to the coffee shop because he doesn't want to run into these guys. And now that there's been a huge judgment issued to him for his pain and suffering and the treatment that he received from the Halifax Police Department, he's going to be targeted again and again and again. We know how this game goes. He stated that he has been passed over for numerous internal job competitions. Okay, so yeah, you know, employers are judgmental. Like, unless he's gone up to the, well, I'm sure by now his work would have heard the story because it would have been a big deal. You know, 2 police officers being found guilty of targeted racism or harassment or whatever the word is. But that's clearly what this is. And unfortunately, it's tainted his employer's opinion now. And he was the victim. This is wrong, you guys. Like, this is wrong. He further stated that his lack of career advancement is linked to these interactions with police. They absolutely are, because now, whether you're innocent or guilty, the damage is done. The police went into your place of employment looking for you, and your employer, I'm sure, knows by now that it was for this. I'm sure, I hope, if nothing else, that, you know, that they will reconsider you for any upcoming promotions that you are probably, more than deserving of. I don't know you. I'm only reading the facts that are laid out here, but it's clear to me what's happened, and I hope that it will bring you some satisfaction knowing that they were found guilty, because that's rare with the police being held accountable, because they always get a slap on the wrist. Sorry, I had to take a drink. My throat was really dry. I'm happy that the hearing worked out in my favor, but I don't feel like it sent the message after the decision was released. I actually fear for what's going to happen to him in times to come, because, you know, I had an incident with the police not long ago, and I wanted to report it, but I'm not stupid. I know how the game's played. Like, I might as well walk in there with a bullseye. You know what I mean? So you let it go, and then they wonder why people don't like the you know, the police. It's mind-boggling. These decisions are supposed to be made in a way where it deters people from wanting to behave that way again. And you know it was such a mild decision that it's almost worthwhile to keep discriminating if you can maintain your job, yeah, and maintain your pension, yep, and you only have to take a course and apologize. Well, you know, $15,000 is a good chunk of money to anybody, no matter if you make six figures or not. So that will burn him, and I worry for this gentleman that's already suffered a loss. Dakota, stop. Sorry, that was my dog barking. He always used to bark during my lives, so it's kind of funny. The whole demeanor and vibe of the situation was hostile. It sounds it. Like, I'm getting upset for this man just reading this. I was humiliated and I was terrified. I thought they were going to try to arrest me, and they were completely ready to do so. One had his hand on his gun for jaywalking. Oh my God. Okay. Simmons' story was corroborated by Carolyn Brody, the commissioner working on the front desk of the lobby, who testified on his behalf. Good for her. In front of the Human Rights Board of Inquiry. She stated that she was worried the police were going to hurt, oh my God, Mr. Simmons, or Simons, I'm not sure, Mr. S., and that she was in shock by what she considered to be their disproportionate response. I totally 100% agree. I love this receptionist commissioner lady, and I hope that you also have the courage not only to stand up to the police, you know, and the Human Rights Board, but I also hope that you would have his back in terms of his boss and let them know. So it's not the first time Constable Pierre Paul Cadieux has found himself in trouble, but it is the first time he was found guilty. Oh, well, that's good. Constable Cadieux first hit my radar when the SA charges against him were stayed. Yeah, the one I just showed you previously. They felt there was no reasonable prospect of a conviction. Yeah, because they intimidate the witnesses, in my opinion. Come on, go back. Okay, there was something else I thought about him as well. Okay, so that's it for the current news, and this is a picture of the guy. Isn't that a face only a mother could love? Sorry. There's something wrong. His eyes are... What is wrong with his eyes? They're too close together. What is happening? I don't understand. But yeah. He's got the face for radio. Okay, now hang on one second. Now, that's the cop. Now, this guy's name is Jeremy McKenzie. Okay? And he has created, he's a YouTuber, he's a comedian, he's a decent guy from what I can tell through his videos. I don't know him personally, okay? He created a fictitious country called Diagolon, and he created a meme with a black background and a white stripe through it, and the country's vice president is a goat named Philip with a cocaine problem. And this is the reason why the federal government in Canada invoked the Emergencies Act. You know, that one where they brought out the horses and trampled them against their own people. So I want, you're going to see where this is going by the time this video is done. So I just wanted to explain where I was going with this. So watch this one.
Hello. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Jeremy McKenzie, and I don't normally like to do these kinds of videos. In fact, I think they're kind of, silly and, just attention for the sake of attention's sake. However, I have some very, very serious things that I need to say, and if you care at all about what's going on in this country and what's happening right now, please listen to what I'm about to tell you. I'm a 14-year veteran of the Canadian Forces. I retired in 2017. Since then, I've been, running a podcast and, kind of an internet show. I'm a clown. I'm a comedian. I like to make people laugh, as many of you have probably noticed over the years if you follow any of my content. But if you don't, maybe more recently you've heard of me through the news or through the House of Commons debates, or now that has made its way up to the Senate chamber, where they are debating on the future of this country in a very serious way. If you're not aware of this, the Trudeau regime has enacted what was previously known as the War Measures Act to combat what was and still is the most peaceful, positive, and shining example display of Canadian culture that I've ever witnessed and had the honor and privilege to experience.
Me too, bro.
This isn't World War II. And this is not the FLQ crisis. This is not separatists, bombing buildings and murdering people and kidnapping them. This was bouncy castles and hugging and singing and an egregious display of police brutality. If you've been following the story at all, you've been aware of this, but if not, you may have heard them say, that there's a threat. That's why we need the Emergency Measures Act. That's why we need this, because, unbeknownst to many Canadians out there, there's an underground army, a militia of a white supremacist, accelerationist, far-right, dangerous terror group, blah, 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 etc., called Diagolon. That may sound like a ridiculous name to you because it is. I invented it. I am the de facto leader of Diagolon. It's a meme. There is no army, there is no militia, there are no terrorists, there are no weapons caches, there are no threats, there's no organization, there's no planning. This is a social club community of sorts that was weaved together through people that were fans and followers of my podcast, in which I encouraged them to do that. I encouraged people to go, meet each other in real life and engage each other and be human beings and reclaim, what's been taken away from them over the past couple of years, making everybody feel isolated and alone.
Yep.
And apparently that makes me a terrorist now. I made this on my phone with my finger one day as a pretend flag for a pretend country that doesn't exist. Its vice president is a goat figurine named Philip who time travels and has an extremely hard time with narcotics. He's got a big problem. There's also Billy Bob the Bigot Brick and his bastard Bigot Brick family, who hangs out in a basement next to Colbert the coal furnace. These are all high echelon esteemed positions in the government of Diagolon.
It's fake.
I can't believe I even have to explain this. However, we do, because that's apparently how desperate this government is.
Totally.
The Liberal government has paid for, constructed, and oiled up very well an organization called the Canadian Anti-Hate Network, which is funded partly by the government of Canada, indirectly and directly. It's received donations from members of the government, from Gerald Butts and others. You can go right to their website and see it for yourself. All of the things being said about me and my friends are sourced from these people. These people are not academics, they're not researchers, they're not journalists. They're a partisan tabloid paid for by the Liberal government.
There you go.
Trying to strangle its political opposition in its infancy. I'm a founding member of the PPC. I've always been a supporter of Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier and others. I think that's a big part of the problem for them. They've created this boogeyman character of a fake army that doesn't exist to justify a grotesque abuse of our citizens. I hope you've seen the footage. It might be hard to find because the media has buried it. A woman was trampled by a horse. People were pepper sprayed, hit with batons. My friends of mine were beaten in the street for no reason. Veterans. No one so much as threw a snowball. Many of these cops, whatever they were, no name tags, no badges, no IDs, nothing.
Fact.
Were they even cops?
Nobody knows.
And now they want a permanent emergency. You think it's going to be 2 weeks? It's just 2 weeks, so we flatten the emergency, guys. You want to give these people this kind of power? It's insane. And their justification, and if you don't believe me, I've uploaded some of it now. You can go watch for yourself. Go watch the Senate hearings. They're talking about this like this is an actual threat to the country. The only country that this government feels confident enough to attack and is still, by my count, losing to is one that doesn't even exist. And it is funny, it is hilarious, and it is a joke, but the consequences are very real, and these senators believe what they're being told by these poisonous, smear merchants. They're saying it's coming from a professor at this university, and it's a researcher at this organization. Their source material is always the same, and it always comes back to the Canadian Anti-Hate Network, which is made up of liars and schemers and snakes. Bernie Farber was already caught in a hate hoax. He tried to pretend that an anti-Semitic flyer posted in Florida was done by the truckers here in Ottawa. These senators are being given information, politically motivated lies, as justification to bring a sledgehammer down on every man, woman, and child in this country. They've made protesting illegal. Where does it end? I don't know where it ends, but I know what's going to happen to all of us. We're all going to go to prison for a long time. I don't know if you've thought this through, but leaders of de facto leaders of national or international terrorist organizations that are planning to overthrow the governments with bouncy castles are probably not treated too well, especially when they've already been convicted in the.
Okay, just wait 1 second. I just want to point out a very important fact that the people that they're claiming were responsible, allegedly, for this grassroots organization, and we ended up all in Ottawa peacefully protesting. If it was so bad, like the media and the government are trying to paint the picture that it was, then why was nobody charged with sedition? Because sedition is a charge where you are trying to overthrow the government. Why were they only charged with mischief? And why are they continuously screwing with people's lives and livelihoods and charging them and draining them of every single financial resource they have?
The court of public opinion. I've been told it's very Kafkaesque, and I would agree. We're in a rough spot here. This country's completely gone off the rails. The media is not asking questions. Nobody is doing their job anymore. So I'm doing all that I can do. I've explained this in detail. I've written a letter to every single senator in this country. It's in their possession now, along with some links, and you can go see for yourself. And I'm going to post it in its entirety after I'm done uploading this. You can see it on my Telegram page or my website, or whichever website, diagolon.org, diagolon.org. It's a meme country. It's a joke. It's a way to connect with people through humor and levity during arguably one of the most difficult time periods to even live in this country.
Facts.
And these psychopaths are trying to use that as a way to smear everyone else and make themselves the victims. Do you think really Justin Trudeau, the Liberal government, are they victims? Victims of what? Victims of honking. They wanted violence, they didn't get any, so they imposed it themselves.
That's right.
And ruthlessly beat their own people in the street, and then have the audacity to act as though they're under attack and need a permanent emergency. Because of this? Because of a joke? So if you can do anything, send this to everybody. Send a letter, send this video, send that website to everybody. Everybody you know, everybody you can find, every journalist, every politician, every MP, every MLA, in other countries, the president of Nigeria, the last Blockbuster that still exists. Go to the last two Kmarts, I think they're in New Jersey, and send it to them too. Because the media in this country is not listening. And they don't want to listen. And they're going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs as unlimited extreme power is granted to the worst people to ever run this country, and there's not going to be any stopping them. It'll never end. The emergency will never end. Because the emergency is political dissent. It's dissenting citizens.
Yep.
If they can do this to me, they can do it to you. And they will.
That's right.
And how long until maybe you don't agree with me, maybe you don't like anything I have to say. That's fine. I'm okay with that. You're allowed to, or at least you should be allowed to. But one of these days, you're not going to agree with something the government wants to do, and then guess what's going to happen?
That's right.
I don't really know what else to say, except that this has gone completely, this is insane. I mean, this isn't a serious country anymore when, you know, an internet clown memes a fake country and the government is trying to use that as casus belli to declare war on its own people. We need to pay attention and we need to do something about this before it's too late, because if they pass this, that's it. And they'll extend it, and they'll extend it, and they'll extend it. So please go to the website, diagolon.org, and I just wanted to tell the truth, and I just wanted to help people.
And you have.
I just wanted to make them laugh and make them feel like they weren't alone and that they had somebody that they could talk to, that's all. And if that makes me a terrorist, if that's the justification for the Emergency Measures Act, the War Measures Act, I think you need to think long and hard about if this is still a country you want to live in anymore.
It is not. Okay, now to put this in context for you guys, this is Morgan. This is Jeremy's girlfriend. Now, wait till the very end of this video. There's not much left, about 15, not even minutes left. But I'll tell you, well, you'll hear actually. I'll let her tell you in her own words. But I just want to say she has the patience of a saint.
Hello.
Hi, may I speak with Morgan, please?
Speaking.
Hi, Morgan. It's Constable Paul Kazzy with Halifax Regional Police. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You requested the callback from me. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think that you were at my property on last Monday.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Yes, I was one of the 3 officers there.
Yeah. I just wanted to call and check in on why you were visiting, and then I just had a few questions as well.
Okay, so the reason why we were visiting is based on the information received. I'm currently working in Halifax, in south end of Halifax, and you organize a rally or protest in the south end at the Peace and Friendship Park on Hollis and Barrington, and you're observed by one of my supervisor who identified you as one of the organizer.
I was not identified.
Just give me a few minutes, ma'am.
Yep.
I'll explain it to you, and then I can answer all your questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're identified as one of the organizer, and that based on the Section 71(1) of the Health Protection Act, which states that an individual or organize an event or gathering contravening to Order Number 4 of the Chief Medical Officer of Health made under Part 1 of the Act is guilty of an offense. And we attended your residence to issue some offense ticket in relation to that act.
How much is the ticket for?
I can't remember exactly by heart what was the ticket. To be honest, I don't have it in front of me right now. I'm just in my vehicle. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Okay. So also I was wondering, so you came to the property, it looks like around 2 p.m. with your required RCMP escort.
That's correct, yes.
And then an hour later, you returned without your escort.
That's right.
And then you took, it looks like you took a photo of our home with your personal cell phone.
Okay. What's your question?
Is that correct?
That's not correct, no.
Oh, okay, so it was a work phone?
We have a work phone, but I have a phone as well. I'm not sure.
So is your work phone is a flip phone, correct?
Flip phone.
What's that, sorry?
Your work phone is a flip phone,
It is correct, yes.
and your personal phone is the one that you took out. And you took a photo of our home, and it's on camera.
Okay.
And you know that you're not permitted to do that?
I'm not sure which picture you're talking about.
I just want to stop this for one brief second and say, as a woman, I would feel extremely threatened if anybody, never mind a cop, especially a cop, coming up and taking pictures in my home through my window. That's stalking.
But there's no picture that was taken.
Yeah, well, you can delete it all you want, but it's on record that you took a photo through my window, which I find concerning at best. Do you find that concerning? Would you like if someone took a photo through your window?
No.
No, there's no picture that was taken through your window. The concern that it was the sign that was in your window, and I couldn't see because of the window, the back window with the sun where it was laying. I couldn't read it properly, and instead of me putting my face, if you put the phone close.
And don't forget, there's a reason why I showed about that cop in the beginning, because that's the cop that did this to her. Okay? The racist, the one who was accused of sexually assaulting somebody, that's the cop. You know, the one with only a face a mother could love? That's the one who took a picture through her window.
You can actually read it. There's no need to take a pictures or anything like that.
Right. So I don't believe you. I'll say that. Who was the officer that came back to our property with you?
His name is Constable Brady Meach.
Brady Meach. Okay. And who was from RCMP who escorted you here?
I can't remember his name.
Okay, I can find that out.
I don't remember. I'm a cop.
Sure you can,
Details
yes.
don't matter.
Okay, so I will be filing a complaint against you for two things: for coming back to our property when you're outside of your jurisdiction.
Okay.
And I will be filing a complaint for the photo that you took. It's very clear on camera that you took a photo.
Okay.
And yeah, I just wanted to let you know that you are trying to issue an illegal ticket, and you can also get in a lot of trouble for that as well.
You don't care.
So about the ticket, you have a, if the ticket, I'm not sure at this point if the ticket was issued to you. However, if you get a ticket issue, you'll have your time in court to contest the ticket for sure.
That's true, and you will do you know though that if you issue a ticket, like you can get in trouble for issuing unlawful tickets?
Well, look, the authority, and we can debate that in court. I'm not going to debate that.
There's no debate. It's very...
He did get in trouble for issuing tickets because the man was black.
clear, and there are already many HRP members that refuse to hand out unlawful tickets. And under the Charter of Rights, I have a freedom of assembly. I have freedom to peacefully protest. I have a mask exemption, so there's no. And I did not organize an event. I have not. That's ridiculous, and there's no proof of it.
Okay, well, that's something that you can bring up in court.
Well, in order to bring up in court, I would need a ticket, and I don't have one, and I will not accept it. And you can send it, like it's completely unlawful.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
And
No, it's law.
yeah, well, it's not my opinion. It's the opinion of this is there is the Charter of Rights, and then underneath that is the Emergency Act.
That's right.
Nothing trumps the Charter of Rights.
That's right.
Nothing.
And I'm not sure what I can tell you. You can do a charter argument if you want. You're free to do so.
No, I won't be going to court, and I won't need to do any of this because it's all unlawful. Yeah, and I will be removing the RCMP's authority to step foot on our property. This is private property, and I have since put up a no trespassing sign. So you're going to have to get a warrant, I guess, to come back.
One other important thing I'd like to add is Jeremy stated in one of his videos previously that channel has been removed, that there was track marks all over the property, like they were casing it, like they were spying. As a woman, again, safety issue, okay?
Here, it's just, that's the only way that you'll be able to have access to our property. And I know that there are many complaints against you internally, and I'm personally not comfortable with you being on our property.
Okay, well, I'm not coming back there right now, so yeah.
No, you're not coming back ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get a restraining order, girl.
And I don't understand how you still have a job after the racist things you have done. You know, and I saw that the Human Rights Commission has charged you for tracking people down. I'm honestly terrified. I'm scared.
I am too for her.
I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for my safety. When people like you are in charge, it scares the shit out of me.
So, do you want me to give you the phone number for professional standards so you can put the complaint in?
Yeah, I've put complaints in already. They
Hear how he's not listening to a word that she says because he knows he's in the wrong. He knows he's got a shady past, and he doesn't care because he is the law. He's above the law. Sorry.
I know their number.
Okay, perfect.
I just want to ask why you do this. If it's I think I'm just very interested in the psychology of all of this, and I don't know if it's like a control thing or.
Well, I'm not gonna make any comment on an internal matter.
Internal matter. It's her property.
I'm just really disappointed in the leadership in this country in general, and you're a part of that leadership. We count on people like you to protect us.
Yeah. Who do you call when 911's the problem?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm scared you'll come back, and I don't know what to do. Like I don't know. I just I didn't want to call you and trigger you, but I don't really know what to do. I don't, other than file a complaint. But I mean, I don't know if my house is gonna be burned to the ground after this. If I have to move. And I'm not a Karen. I don't want to call on you. I don't want to do this. But I really just don't know how else to handle this situation.
Get a restraining order.
I'm not sure what to tell you. So you did put the complaint in, which is your rights. And in relation to the ticket, you also have the right to contest the ticket, and you'll get a court date, and then I'll have to testify, or my partner will have to testify, or both of us will have to testify in relation to the ticket. And if you want to challenge to charter, because your charter of rights was violated, you can do so as well. That's part of the process.
Okay, well, I will leave you alone. I just want to say that, just that I'm disappointed, and that I hope that you work towards doing a better job in the future. and I'm not really sure how I'm gonna deal with this yet, but please keep your personal cell phone in your pocket, and moving forward, people have cameras. You've been caught for other stuff. Like, you need to do a better job, please. That's all I say.
I'm trying every day, man. Absolutely.
Every day you can work towards being a better person. And I believe that. And we're all capable of changing and bettering ourselves. And I really hope that you do. There are a lot of good cops. And then,
a better person than me.
There's people out there who are just trying to get back or feel that whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep it going. I do believe in you, though, and I know that you're going to do a better job moving forward. And we'll deal with the rest at a later date, I guess.
All right. Any other question, man?
That's all for today. Thank you for taking this call.
Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
You too.
Bye now.
Cheers. I'm shaking.
Aw.
I'm shaking, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted him to know that he fucked up.
He knows.
And now
big hugs,
I
Morgan.
need like a restraining order or
Yes,
something.
you do. Get
I
one,
don't know.
please, for your safety.
I'm gonna think on this one. Shit.
Okay, now here's the video. Okay. Now here's him. What's going on with the angle? Why is it not showing properly? What the hell? Is it just on my screen or what? I don't know. Why is it not working? Why is it not showing? If it doesn't show in this video on your end, I don't know, because my phone is on like full screen, but it shows him clearly going up to the door, trying to see through the window. The window, the screen was not was obstructing his view. He takes out his cell phone, which was his personal cell phone, and he takes a picture. And I'm going to post that. It's only a 40-second clip of her home security camera. And I'm going to post that after this live is over. Because, I don't know if you can see it on your end, but it's not showing on my phone. I apologize. But yeah, like this is what we're dealing with. And as a woman, I would be extremely concerned. And share this out, please, you guys. Like, this is what we're dealing with. This is why people like me have been so mad over this shit for the longest time, because this is what they do and they keep getting away with it, and it's not right, and I don't know what else to say. So I apologize if you guys didn't see the very end of the video where he actually opened the screen door and took a picture inside of her home. She's a beautiful woman. I would be absolutely terrified if I were her. And Morgan, I'm going to send you this after it's done posting. I want you to file a police report, please, for your safety, because it absolutely needs to be documented, because if something further happens, it's on file. So thank you for joining me, you guys. I will post the video, the 45-second clip of the cop going up to her house, and please share this out, because people need to know that this is happening, and that it's just good people get sick of being pushed around by people who think that they're above the law, because they are the law. And this is what our fearless leader has promoted. So it doesn't matter if you're unsafe in your own home now. It doesn't matter if the police are targeting you. So, they can't get Jeremy right away, so now they're going after his beautiful girlfriend. So I think I've laid out the facts clearly. It's up to you to decide what you feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing it from a different perspective. But this shit should not be allowed. He should lose his badge. How many incidences are you going to allow from one cop, even before he was a cop? But yeah, we're the bad guys. So thanks for joining me. Please